Would it be fair to say that the broken southern border is man-made?
It would be fair to say that, sir, based on policies that have been implemented.
And that man's name is Joe Biden, isn't it?
That would be a fair assessment, yes, Senator.
And it makes you angry that President Trump does not believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Senator, I'm not here to discuss immigration policy. I'm here to discuss whether or not we use the military to enforce it.
Who are you talking to?
I don't know the context.
Who are you talking to about who in Texas had their knives out for black immigrants?
Guessing the context, but my suspicion is that it has to do the Attorney General Ken Paxton and the Attorney General of
Give me a
Louisiana.
name.
I just did.
You don't have a name, do you?
I just said Ken Paxton.
Hey friends, it's Freedom Forge. If you love this country, if you care about our borders, and if you're tired of liberal politicians and bureaucrats selling out the American people, then you're in the right place. Today, we're breaking down a Senate hearing that exposes just how broken and, frankly, how dangerous the Biden administration's border policies have become. Senator John Kennedy absolutely grilled these so-called experts, and I have a lot to say about it. So let's get into it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Arthur, you are with the Center for Immigration Studies, is that right?
That's correct, Senator.
And that's a nonpartisan think tank, is it?
It is, sir.
Okay. The border is an open, bleeding wound, isn't it?
That's a fair way to characterize what's been going on for the last 4 years, sir.
The southern border is chaotic by design, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've been covering the border for 3 decades, and yeah, it's pretty chaotic.
Would it be fair to say that the broken southern border is man-made?
It would be fair to say that, sir, based on policies that have been implemented.
And that man's name is Joe Biden, isn't it?
That would be a fair assessment, yes, Senator.
Under President Biden, if you wait in line for legal immigration, you're a chump, aren't you?
When you look at the benefits that have been given to people and the speed at which they've been released into the United States, I would be chagrined if I were waiting.
You're a chump, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
General.
Yes,
You
sir.
believe in open borders, don't you?
I believe in the rule of law, sir.
Right. And it makes you angry that President Trump does not believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Senator, I'm not here to discuss immigration policy. I'm here to discuss whether or not we use the military to enforce it.
And it makes you angry that most Americans don't believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Not in the slightest, sir. Again, I am not here to discuss immigration policy.
Yeah. Duty, honor, respect, you talked about that
Yes,
in
Senator.
your opening statement. On October 14th of this year, you went on CNN. I want to read you what you said, make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader. I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. To Bob Woodward, if he as chairman of the Joint Chiefs is calling the president a fascist, I'm so proud of him for breaking that barrier. The challenge is because most MAGA Republicans, they don't understand what fascism is. The reality is that they are, in fact, fascists themselves. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I am happy to discuss my personal perspectives with you separately at any time. That's not the purpose of the hearing today.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You think you're smarter than the American people, don't you?
Absolutely not, Senator. I am here to discuss the use of the military as part of this mass deportation.
You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you, General?
Senator, I am insulted by your comment.
Duty, honor, and respect. You talked about that in your opening statement, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Moran said, I wrote down her words. She said, by their actions, you know what someone's character is like. You agree with that?
Senator, for 35 years, I served my country with absolute honor and distinction, and I will continue to do so.
You agree with what Ms. Moran said?
Of course.
Mr., we've got a few minutes left.
23 seconds.
Well, actually, you let Ms. Klobuchar go well over, so I'm assuming you'll extend me the
I'll
same.
give you the
courtesy.
same minute I gave to her.
You gave it a minute 20. I timed it.
You're using.
I watched you like a hawk, Dick. Mr. Melnick, Mr. Reichland Melnick, you believe in open borders too, don't you?
I do not, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay. On November 1st, 2022, you tweeted, both Texas and Louisiana have their knives out for black immigrants. Do you remember that tweet?
I don't, but it's quite possible.
What Texans, it's not only possible, it happened. You're not denying it, are you?
No, I'm saying, referring to the
Texans?
context.
Who are
I
you
actually
talking
don't
to?
know the
Who
context.
are you talking to about who in Texas had their knives out for black immigrants?
Guessing the context, but my suspicion is
Give
that
me
it
a
has to
name.
do the
Give me a
Attorney
name.
General Ken Paxton and
Give
the
me a
Attorney
name.
General of
Give me a
Louisiana.
name.
I just did.
You don't have a name, do you?
I just said Ken Paxton.
You don't have a name, do you? You just said it, didn't you?
Just said Ken Paxton.
All right, how about Louisiana? You said Louisiana has its knives out for black immigrants. Who in Louisiana were you talking about?
Again, I'm not certain. That was 2 years ago, and as I'm sure you know, much has happened in the last 2 years.
Well, did you say it?
Again, I do not remember the context,
But you don't.
Senator
You
Kennedy.
said somebody had their knives out from Louisiana for black immigrants, but you don't know who they were. You just said it.
I said the Attorney General of Louisiana and Texas, and I believe this referred to specifically lawsuits brought and arguments that were made in court that the arrival of Haitians
I'm out
and
of time,
others
but I
were
want to get you
inherently
on the
dangerous,
record.
which was
You
not
Thank you very much, Senator.
believe
Appreciate
that the
your
Attorney
questions.
General at that time of Louisiana had his knives out for black immigrants. That's your testimony.
Given their
Thank you,
litigation
Senator Kennedy.
conduct, yes.
Senator Hirono.
All right. First up, Senator Kennedy brings in Mr. Arthur from the Center for Immigration Studies, a nonpartisan think tank, by the way. Kennedy calls the border an open, bleeding wound. And you know what? He's right. Anyone with eyes can see it. If you've been paying attention, if you live anywhere near the southern border, or heck, if you even watch the news, you know it's a disaster. And Mr. Arthur agrees. The border is chaotic by design. That's a direct quote. Not chaotic by accident. Not chaotic because of some random circumstances. Chaotic by design. That means someone planned this. This is policy, folks. This is not incompetence. This is intentional. And who does Senator Kennedy pin the blame on? President Joe Biden. And Arthur doesn't dodge it. He says it's a fair assessment. So let's just be real for a second. This is the Biden border crisis. Full stop. Here's my take. The American people didn't ask for open borders. We didn't vote for chaos. We didn't vote for 8 million illegal crossings. But that's exactly what we got. And it's not just a problem. It's a national security threat. It's a humanitarian crisis. It's a slap in the face to every single legal immigrant who did things the right way. Kennedy goes on to say, if you wait in line for legal immigration under Biden, you're a chump. And again, Arthur agrees. And folks, that's the truth. The message from this administration is, if you break the law, we'll reward you. If you follow the law, good luck, you'll wait for years. Is that how you run a country? Is that how you keep a nation secure? Absolutely not. Listen, My family came here legally. Maybe yours did too. Legal immigrants are some of the hardest working, most patriotic people you'll ever meet. But Biden's policies spit in their face. It's not just unfair, it's un-American. Then Kennedy questions this general, who, by the way, is supposed to represent the military, not politics. Kennedy asks if he supports open borders, and the general dodges. He won't answer. That's telling, folks. That's what happens when the woke left gets its claws into our institutions, even the military. And then Kennedy reads back this general's CNN appearance, where he called President Trump, not like any sane leader, praised General Milley for calling Trump a total fascist, and called MAGA Republicans, millions of us, fascists. Let me be clear. This is what the left thinks of you. If you voted for Trump, if you believe in a secure border, if you love this country, you're a fascist in their eyes. That's what they really think. I'm sorry, but I have to call this out. The military's job is to defend the Constitution, not to play partisan games. How dare this general insult millions of patriotic Americans? How dare he call us fascists? We believe in law and order, in the rule of law, in the greatness of this country. And then when Kennedy presses him, the general tries to act insulted, like he's above it all. Sorry, you don't get to play the victim when you're the one throwing around insults on national television. Senator Kennedy brings up something important: duty, honor, respect. These are the values that built this country. And when you attack half the country as fascists, you're not living up to those values. You're spitting on them. And finally, Kennedy takes on Mr. Melnick about his tweet, saying Texas and Louisiana have their knives out for black immigrants. Melnick can't even remember who he was talking about. He tries to backpedal. He tries to dodge. But at the end of the day, it's just more left-wing smears. If you enforce the law, if you try to protect our border, you're called a racist. Let me tell you, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being called a racist, a fascist, every name in the book, just for wanting a secure border, just for wanting the law enforced, just for wanting America to be safe. Here's what I want you to take from this hearing. The crisis at the southern border is not an accident. It's not a result of compassion. It is man-made. It is the direct result of the Biden administration's policies, and it is hurting Americans. It's hurting legal immigrants. It's hurting our communities. If you care about this country, we have to fight back. We have to speak up. We have to support leaders like Senator Kennedy who aren't afraid to tell the truth, who aren't afraid to call out the lies, who aren't afraid to stand up for the American people. God bless you. God bless our border agents. And God bless the United States of America.